There he is, my man,
What's up, guys?
Heath. How's it going, man?
Hey, it's going good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. I know you're enjoying Family Day, and Fred and I really appreciate you calling in.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Hey, Fred, nice to meet you, man.
You too, brother.
So, Heath, man, we've been talking for probably about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, but, just I did some research on Yak Tribe, and I've been actually following you guys for a really long time. And it's cool to kind of see your company grow and just, all the trips you guys go on and the awesome photos on your Instagram. I love your Instagram, by the way. And why don't you just
I
dive
appreciate
in?
it.
Yeah, no problem. And why don't you just kind of dive into, how you started Yak Tribe? I know you've been around for a while. And, what it took to start it and where you're going in the future.
Yeah, man. Well, first of all, can you hear me okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
we hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. First of all, I just want to say I've actually been a big fan of the Extreme Kayak Fishing Tournament Series for a long time, and it's shame on me for never being able to come out to the events because I've wanted to so bad. But life on the road is a mutual, the decisions we make on where we go and what time of the year have to be
Of course.
semi-mutual between the wife and myself. So I'm planning on making it out in January.
Well, that would be awesome, and we'd love to have you here for the Sailfish Tournament.
Heath, how do you pronounce your last name?
Yeah,
Just so we know if Joe got it.
So, okay, whenever anyone asks me that, I
Oh,
ask
okay,
them,
so
"Do you
you've
want it
been
the
asked."
American way or the Filipino way?
Okay, the Filipino way. Oh,
Oh,
man.
all right.
Wait, all right, I have a lot of Filipino
I
friends in
told
San
you,
Diego.
Fred.
Do you pronounce it like an American or do you pronounce it like a Filipino person with an American
I
accent would
pronounce
pronounce
like a Filipino.
or like a legit?
No,
Okay.
My man.
Look, the thing is this: my dad's Filipino, my mom's she's white, she's Irish. Okay, so she was born here, and dad's born in the Philippines. So I grew up with this dilemma of how I should say my own name.
Yeah.
So if I'm seeing another, Filipino ethnic type Asian or something, I say it like the real way, like Panganiban. But if I see,
Panganiban.
like someone that looks like my mom, I say Panganiban.
That's how I said it.
That's
yeah.
how Joe. That's Joe. That's Joe. That's fair enough.
Yeah,
He's
Fred
white.
and I were working on that for about 10 minutes before you called in the show, so I'm happy we squared that away. So
Yeah.
I did say it right, so that's
It's
good.
all good.
I know
Yeah,
I know.
man,
I have a
it's all
ton
good.
of I have a ton of Filipino friends in San Diego, and actually, my kids are half Vietnamese, so the pronunciations of words are so differently. Like in
Well, my last name's Hector.
If she's Vietnamese and she knows, yeah, I was gonna say if she's Vietnamese, she knows like the common mispronounced Vietnamese name is Nguyen.
Nguyen,
People say Nguyen, you know.
Yeah, her last name is Nguyen. My ex-wife, her last name is Nguyen, and yeah, But you know what's crazy is when they say it, it doesn't sound like Nguyen. Like that's still the American way to pronounce it, at least mildly correctly, right? It's not Nguyen. That's just super wrong. But like, yeah, they still, dude, that language is way hard.
Yeah, well,
wanna get into
mine's Hector, so
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
when I went to college, they actually put me in a room
With all the Hispanics?
Yeah, I didn't speak Spanish, so they had to switch my room because they thought I was Spanish. So because I got two first names, Joseph Hector. So it's crazy, but enough with the names.
Yeah,
but
like, why
yeah,
is Joseph always getting D's on his test here?
They put it in
Yeah, I know.
Spanish. It's a Spanish test.
he's Spanish. Come on.
Oh, that's great.
All right, let's get back to kayak.
Yeah.
I love those rants though.
I know.
They're the best.
Yeah, man. All right, so to answer your question, that's like a huge question, like everything put into like one. So I'll try to make it brief, but honestly, I grew up kayak fishing with my dad. Like I said, he's Filipino, so he's all about like go and catch your dinner. So we used to go out and like this tandem kayak and just go to the bridge and like scrape off oysters and like catch sheep's head and then go home. And then I kind of stopped after that and picked up like boating. And I owned like a little V-hole, like 14-foot fiberglass kind of John boat thing. But then I kind of like fell back in love with kayak fishing. So I sold that. I bought like a 12-foot Lifetime from Sports Authority for like $139 and just started and like restarted. And like by this time, now we've got like all of these kayak fishing gear companies where you can like rig your kayaks and do all this kind of stuff. So I kind of got into that scene. Well, I went to go like launch my kayak one day at the boat launch I used to use, and I always had like boat launch etiquette. So I put my kayak to the side and like backed my trailer and got out real fast, but like was still getting like a lot of grief.
Really?
And like this sense of like annoyance from like the boaters. And granted, it was a Saturday, you know what I mean? And I, quickly realized I don't want to fish on weekends anymore.
I'll tell you what, Heath, real quick. With those boat ramps, when I've had my boat, and even in New Jersey with my father's boat, I've been on boats my whole life, and those boat ramps, man, they could be like hell, because what happens is people come in with those trailers and their boats, and some of them are huge and some of them are small, and those weekend warriors that come out, they'll have to back up their trailer like 10 times, kind of like I had to do a couple times, and they just get so mad. So everyone's like on edge there, and it's nuts, man. Nuts. So I agree with you. It gets crazy.
I backed up like my Jeep with my kayak like close to it, unloaded real quick, but I think like I was the only one back at that point really launching a kayak there, at least from what I saw. So I just remembered after I was getting like those like, hey, get that out of here, like move your car, like that kind of thing. I kind of said to myself, I was like, look, man, I love kayak fishing, and I just hope we never become like this. That's literally what I said to myself.
Oh, dude, the boat ramps.
And
the boaters are the worst, dude.
Well,
yeah,
I know.
I mean, look, and so that's like what I said to myself. It's just like I hope we don't become like this. And I think kind of out of that like that statement to myself, I started to develop like this sense of, I've always been a community type person. My wife and I have been youth pastors for like 6 years before we hit the road full time about almost 2 years ago. And I just wanted to develop a community of people that would like not end up that way. And by which like we would share, not like fishing spots, but like we would be able to lend each other a helping hand and like kumbaya type stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where it was more like inclusive, not exclusive. And unfortunately, a lot of like things these days tend to be exclusive and not really an inclusive type attitude towards the community or group or business, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, like in 2015, it kind of just took off from there. So that's kind of where the concept started and what it became.
Well, and how long you been doing this for?
We started in 2015. Honestly, I really never intended ever to like sell shirts and hats until really the community as a whole kind of like started like demanding it almost. Like we want to rep this. We want to show off this group of people that we've developed and this community. So like make it. That's kind of why we started doing it. And like, I just want to make one thing clear, like to anyone like listening and watching,
right?
Because people ask me all the time, like, what is Yak Tribe? And something that I hope our actions speak louder than our merchandise, but something we're not is an apparel brand, you know?
Have you gotten people
we're
like
not an apparel
asking you that, or is that?
Yeah, like on the road.
Gotcha.
Yeah. You know, nowadays, like anybody can start a brand, right?
Of course. And
I do like living on the road, and people see like the camper and they want to know like, are you guys like a clothing company? Like if I had to stop selling clothing today to like continue the mission of spreading like community, we'd do that. And I just wanted to say like that up front is like the first and foremost thing that we are before like a sticker or a hat is just a community of people.
That's cool. What's really sad is that you have to explain that, you know what I mean? Like this shouldn't matter. You know, like you should be able to sell your merchandise like without question. You know what I mean? Like there shouldn't be any issues with that. Like, it wouldn't matter if you were, in my opinion, it wouldn't matter if you were, you know,
the good thing is though with what you created. I mean, I feel that you definitely created an awesome brand, and you know, like I said, I've been following you guys for a long time, and I've been watching like especially your Instagram, and you know, I give you a lot of credit because you got to remember, like guys like you and me. You know, we came into this thing in the beginning, you know, basically when there's nothing. I mean, it's creating something out of nothing, and that's the hardest thing. And, you know, you've done that. You know, you've created a brand. And even though it's easy to, let's say, make a logo and create a brand, the hard part's taking it to the next level, and that's what you've done with apparel and traveling and, you know, getting all those followers that you have and people that are interested in it. I call it the love fest with Extreme. So Fred doesn't like that term, but the community, you know, you got the community, and that's the hardest part is to not only build the brand, but getting the people into the brand. And I give you a lot of credit, Heath. I mean, you've really, it's awesome. I love what you're doing.
I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And you also you do some work with O'Meals, correct?
Yeah, my wife and I, that's kind of how we float the boat a bit. Is like, contrary to popular belief, like Yak Tribe doesn't make $1 million a year, right? So like, and living on the road, I know it seems like super glamorous.
You mean living on the road and selling T-shirts doesn't make you $1 billion? Come on, stop
no,
the
no,
You just opened our eyes.
I've actually been doing like. Yeah.
It's funny how people think that,
right? I open up the RV and everyone comes and buys stuff.
Yeah, it's so funny how people think that, right? It's like the silliest.
Oh yeah.
People
No, that's like totally not the case.
If the regular public sees you being like semi-successful on social media, they automatically think you make a pile of money, no matter what you're doing.
Oh yeah, of course.
It doesn't matter what you're doing.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
They just think you're all
But they don't get the work. They don't get the work that goes into
they don't see it.
the stuff that we do. It's a lot of work, and like I know Heath, I know you can oblige by that. It's a ton of work. It's a ton of time. It's
you can oblige by that.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean it's a lot. Yeah. It really is. It's stressful at times.
Yeah, it's what I say. Like
it is.
People don't realize the 2 hours Joe and I were here
preparing this
podcast. Like,
trying to say his name.
Yeah, like
right.
We had a remedial course on how to pronounce your name for like 30 minutes. Like no one will ever see that time that we spent working.
No, but what people won't see, in all honesty, guys, like Frank and Joe, what they don't see is that like to make this call happen, it took a pre-meeting, it took phone calls.
Yeah.
It took meetings to you guys in the studio, and then once this is done, you have to edit it. You have to listen to it. You have to put it up. You have to promote it. It's not just an hour podcast.
No, it is definitely.
And that's the thing. So like back to your question, like I've been doing web development for like 11 years now, and so I have to use that skill to really pay my bills. Like Yak Tribe helps, which is awesome because we put that back into the community, into the business. But like to make the real money, to actually like pay the health insurance and the that kind of stuff, we have to put like my web development back into practice. And so, O'Meals is one of our clients, and we tend to take on outdoor companies as clients for like web development, SEO, social media, and stuff like that. And like, that's how we actually float the boat, or, the RV.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, listen, you got to make money, and in the end, I mean, to keep doing what you're doing, that's just how it works. I mean, that's running a business, and with the community that you were talking about, I really liked what you said in the beginning when you were talking about how, you wanted to you didn't want it to turn into what you saw, with the boaters at the boat ramps and all that stuff. And you're right, Fred? Fred's having a stroke. But no, I really like what you said because, me running me running tournaments for as long as I've been doing it, I've seen probably the worst of the worst and the best of the best, kind of a mix. But I know that there are places, for instance, I've been talking to the guys in Hawaii, and, that stuff I might be helping them over there with some events in the future. And that place, it went way out of whack. I mean, a lot of guys were attacking each other in the community and going after each other. And I've seen it, firsthand here, and I've had to ban people from tournaments, and you're right. You don't want to see that because you don't want the sport to eat itself, especially with how young this sport really is. I mean, it's really just the beginning.
Yeah. And that attitude, Joe, like I say, we're inclusive, like, group of people, but there's like anyone who's followed Yak Tribe for long enough knows, like, there's a zero tolerance for that kind of stuff. Right. And here's why, like, I don't know how else to explain this, but like, I grew up kind of in like a rough, like, to be honest, man, like, I'm like an undercover gangster, like Asian gangster.
I love it.
When I grew up, like, I grew up, like, my dad is like FOB, like fresh off the boat, like, and like, I got to like run the streets, as a kid, like, no questions asked, And the thing about it is, like, when I find myself in like a situation, I could only hope, like, dang, I hope like one of those guys staring me down as like one of my friends that I know, you know what I mean? Like, and like, that's how, like, honestly, like, that's kind of how Yak Tribe, it's not, Yak Tribe's not a cult, but it's like this. You show up to a tournament, things are a little like uncomfortable already. But if like, dude, there's a Yak Tribe guy, you can guarantee that there's no altercation. there's not going to be a problem.
Right.
That guy's going to be willing to help rig your boat, is going to help change your gator clamps on your battery because it got rusted out. Like, he's willing to help. And, that's the group of people that we're trying to promote and find.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Us too.
That's
yeah,
everyone
I
at
love
our
it.
tournaments, man. Like, it's crazy to just walk around the beach and see people helping each other. Like, from, when there's bad weather, like, people are pushing each other. Like, there's 5 people launching one kayak, So it's just really cool to see. It's actually kind of cool to not be competing and just go walk the beach in the morning, and you'll see just people borrowing buckets and borrowing, just sharing everything, and it's really cool to see.
He'll be here for the sailfish.
Like, Mitch and Ivy Harris, right? They fish your tournament.
Oh,
Mitch
yeah.
and Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, Yak Tribe guys, would you say they're pretty stand-up guys?
Awesome
sure,
guys.
for sure.
Awesome. Not just stand-up, but awesome.
Both of those guys are like first person I could call to be like, I need help. And they'd be like, what's the address?
Right.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah,
cool.
That's really cool, and for you to be kind of the head of that, building that community up is awesome. We all need more of that,
For sure.
So it's exciting to get you to come here for the Sailfish tournament coming up in January, and I think we'll have a blast together. Hopefully you'll fish it. If not, we'll get you on a help boat. Yeah, we'll get you on a help boat maybe with Freddie, and we get some great footage and just have a blast, just have fun.
How big is your RV?
Honestly, I called Ivy the other day, and I said, look, I got 2 spots. We were talking about this the other day.
Right.
And I said you and I just team up. What do you think?
No, what'd you say?
So, you'll have to find out.
Okay. Well, I hope to see you, man. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And listen, Heath, I really appreciate you calling in, and keep doing what you're doing. We need more guys like you in the sport of kayak fishing, because we got to bring this all together, man. We got to keep growing the sport, man.
No, I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate both you guys. If there's anything that I can ever do, or Yak Tribe as a whole can do, or a cause that we can promote, y'all already know. Please feel free to reach out, and we'll do everything we can to help.
Thanks, brother. Hey, and vice versa. You need anything from us, just let us know. You could stay at Freddie's if you need to. His house is always open for everybody.
It's like tournament time. My house turns into like a bed and breakfast.
That's not true.
No, it is true. That's the funny thing. Everybody stays at his house, and Maggie flips out. His girl.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
No, but dude, how big is your RV?
Awesome.
Because I may have a place for you to park when you come here. If you're gonna bring the RV,
He can park at my place too.
Yeah, my RV is it's a 36-foot pull behind, so we actually tow it with our truck.
Okay.
36 feet.
Yeah, I think I like right here where Robert parked his trailer.
Right.
This guy it'll probably be cool, and it's like 2 blocks off the beach, so you wouldn't have to actually drive anywhere.
Yeah, no, it'll be a good time.
It's like a couple of blocks off the beach, so yeah, we'll figure
Cool.
it out.
I appreciate you guys. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. When it comes closer to January.
Awesome. Well, Heath, one last question. Give me a paranormal experience you've had while kayak fishing. You've had to have something.
Oh, while kayak fishing? Oh, man. Okay.
Or
I
fishing.
have this one. So, kayak fishing. So, I'm not sure. Are you familiar with the Skyway in Tampa Bay, Florida?
No.
Skyway Bridge?
No.
It's this big old Skyway Bridge. Anyways, everyone knows it if you're from Tampa Bay area. I was out there fishing with my buddy Juno, I don't know, a year and a half ago, and we're fishing, hanging out, and we get close to the bridge because we're going to start looking for some grouper, and which, by the way, there's no grouper there, so no one should go check. Okay.
I feel like you're just covering for a hot spot right there. I feel like you just threw shade on the spot, and you're like, oh shit. Wait a minute, let me backpedal on that one.
Don't check.
By the way, there's no grouper.
There's no fish there at all.
You don't want to go there.
Yeah.
Whatever you do.
So what happened?
There's no fish there. And this story will prove to you so that you don't want to go there. Yeah. So we get to the spot, and all of a sudden, and I didn't have my GoPro running.
Never do.
But all of a sudden, a dolphin, which that's not unusual to see, but a dolphin jumps up next to my friend's kayak and just jumps back in the water. And we were like, dude, that's pretty crazy. He's 2 feet from your kayak. And then all of a sudden, one does it by me. And we're like, hold up. That was weird. That's never happened. Let's paddle over here. Then we go to this other pylon. All of a sudden, a light switch, bro. All of these dolphins out of nowhere, and I don't know how much dolphins weigh, but they're huge and scary when you're right under them.
Oh,
they literally start jumping over the bow of my kayak. They're putting on a SeaWorld show in front of us.
What?
That's rare.
And we cannot enjoy the show because we're scared that one's gonna land on our kayak.
Oh God.
And like we might die. I don't know. So like, I'm in a Hobie. He's got like this Minn Kota on the back of his Malibu kayak, and we just like book it out. And we're like, we're never doing that again.
You know what's scary about dolphin? They're highly intelligent too. Like I've seen like some rogue dolphin with scars by themselves, and you know that that's like an evil dolphin that you don't want around you. Like
they're
like
Caesar dolphin.
Yeah, you don't want to you don't want to mess with those dolphins.
But they don't mess with people.
None. I don't know, man.
When's the last dolphin attack?
I went swimming with dolphin real quick with my wife one time on our honeymoon, and we went to the Keys and we were swimming with them, and the trainer's there, and they had like a kid dolphin with the parents, and the kid kept like poking Maria's butt and like poking her hard, and the trainer was literally like yelling at the kid dolphin, like stop it, you know, like treating it like a kid. But this thing was pretty rogue, man. Like I was swimming and it grabbed my foot and dragged me under real quick.
Oh, I think you just made that part up.
No, this is real. Like those dolphins
it didn't tear your foot up.
It didn't like hurt me or anything. They're gentle when they. I mean, if they wanted to bite your foot off, I'm sure they could. But they're intelligent.
Guys, we might have to fact check this, and I don't know if this is like a PG kind of show.
No, it's whatever. It's whatever.
But
it's however.
I'm pretty sure my facts are correct that dolphins are like one of the only other kind of species, animals that like do it for pleasure. Am I right?
That is very true. Fred doesn't know anything about dolphins.
Yeah.
I know everything about dolphins.
It's almost true. It's not the only.
Oh,
one.
Here we go. It's almost true.
A bunch of monkeys do that. Primates.
Do they do that?
Oh my gosh.
Are you sure?
For fun, yeah, absolutely.
How do you know?
It's like this show, we talk about like kayak fishing and then like monkeys
everything.
Fornicating.
Jesus.
It's everything, buddy.
Yeah.
I should have did my due diligence before coming on this show.
Oh, dude, you have no idea. We're talking about like.
Oh yeah, our next guest calling in. We'll be talking about the Anunnaki and the universe, and we got a lot of good stuff. Yeah.
You should watch
all right,
some
guys.
episodes.
I'll let you guys go.
All right, brother. Listen, we'll talk to you later. Sorry for freaking you out, but definitely, we definitely want to see you. Yeah, we want to see you at the Sailfish Smackdown. All right.
Yeah. All right, brother. That sounds good, man.
All right. See you, brother.
I'll see you both.
All right. See ya.